Oh dear.
But I mean, I can.
You're like
point
every other woman. We spent
every.
it on clothes and things. So, guys, today we have Rennie today, right? She is the calmest. She's so calm. Like sometimes I see her and she's just so quiet in her corner. I love it. I wish I was like that because my mouth be doing this a lot. But she's always kind of calm. But let me introduce Rennie to you. Actually, let me let Rennie introduce herself. Rennie is one of our amazing agents. She never misses a training, always available, even if it's online and she can't make it for whatever reason because she has other businesses. She's on Zoom asking all the right questions. So, how has it been? Let's start with introduction first to let them know who you are.
My name is Renike Owoyemi. I am a financial strategist, and I work with TLG. Like I recently joined the team, and it's been amazing. And aside, I'm also a podcaster, and I also have an eyebrow business. Yeah, so that's
So,
about it.
as she's a podcaster, she should be the one asking the questions, right? Because I don't know, she will know more questions than me. I'm not a podcaster. I'm finessing this, or she. So
That's
this
fine. You're doing
this should
great.
flow. So how have you? How's it been for you since you joined True Legacy Life Group? How has the training been going? How do you feel like the impact has been for you since you joined?
Well, I feel like I just got in business, right? So apparently, this is not the first time I'm trying to be in like the finance space, right? But over time, it's just always been like I'm trying to find my footing all the time. Because there's one thing about me: once I decide I want to do something, then I really want to do it,
Right.
right? So when actually initially the very first time I heard about this industry was from Mr. Dog, Coach Douglas. From it was on social media, and that was like a long I didn't even have my documents to be in the country then. So I was like, okay, what are they talking about? So prior, the time passed, and I joined a different organization, and yeah, that did good too, right? But it just feels different being in TLG. The trainings are so good. Right? We're really learning about the products, and now I'm really getting the concept of we are helping people, if you know what I mean, because I see what we do, how we help people to find. Money that they're just throwing away unknowingly, right? And we just put them on that path to actually creating generational wealth.
Yeah.
Because I had the situation myself where I lost $50,000 in the space of 6 months. I'm like, what did I do with this money?
Let's talk about that. Wait,
I don't
what
know
do you do with that money?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh dear.
But I mean, I can.
You're like
point
every other woman. We spent
every-
it on clothes and things.
Yeah, because when we just all hear this concept of pay yourself first, but there's still that confusion around it. In my mind, I actually invested in some things, right?
In your
But
mind.
based on what I know now and what TLG, what Coach Doug teaches, right, there is a way that you can use your money. And there's a post I put up on my WhatsApp this morning. I was like, any money that you get that you don't give yourself the opportunity to use more than once or twice is lost money.
It's lost money.
And that is what I just really
You
have
got the
been able
picture.
to put together
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So yeah. Now I'm not paying everybody first, but I'm gonna pay myself. And I know just how to do it. Thank God for TLG. Yeah.
So I know that your mom,
Mm-hmm.
and how many kids again do you have?
One right now.
Oh, you have one. Oh, how sweet. Okay. So at least for me, we have a bunch of girls. So my focus has always been, I want our daughters to look at me and say, I was inspired by my mom. I want them to look at me and say, my mom was a beast. She killed whatever it was she set out to do. So what is it that now that you're back in the financial services, now that you're getting it, you're getting trainings and you're understanding the product, what is your what is your goal long term? Like, what is your long term goal? What do you hope to achieve? Now being fully in the industry and understanding the concept and why you're doing this.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for asking that, because now when you touched on the mom situation, I just really thought about my mom. So I'm gonna start with my mom because the fact that you started with that. So,
Yeah.
My mom, she was married for 30 years and they got divorced like after 30 years,
Wow.
right? And there's something that is very common with women in Africa, right? Especially Nigeria, where I come from. When people divorce from their husbands, it's as if like they don't get a new lease on life and they're just in the corner somewhere begging. They don't have the money to do stuff, right? But I look at my mom all the time, like, not for once, I actually picked up, please, can you people help me?
Yeah.
Nah, she's done again.
Yeah.
I'm doing this business, I'm doing that. So I see her, and I'm like, okay, I need to be in the position where I feel like I have like choices, right? Yeah. I don't ever want to be in a position in my life where it's like, oh, you don't have any choice. You have to bow down.
Yes.
No. So that was the start for me. So when I moved to this country, I could have just gone to do business analysis, project management. But like I said, I've always been an entrepreneur from Nigeria. I was a film producer. There's nothing I did not sell. I was a market woman, essentially. So coming here, so I see everybody doing BA, everybody doing project management. Even someone told me to go do nursing. I'm like, yo, I cringe at the sight of blood. So I can't even do that. So I sat back, I'm like, okay, what's obtainable? Then I saw, like, okay, finances. And I'm like, this is good. I'm always scared of numbers, right? But then when I started seeing, okay, what we really do in terms of helping people, and that really, it hits home for me, because a lot of us, we just feel like building generational wealth, or buy a house, or put your money in, buy a business. All those things, they're all speculative, right? That is one thing I'm getting to know now. But what we do here is, okay, secure that money first, then go do everything you want.
That's right.
To do, right? And that is so good for me, and that is really fueling the energy that I have now for this business. Like, you can have your money and still use it for so many other things, right? And make sure you're sheltering that money. So the long game for me right now is, now that I get the whole picture, is to do everything in my power to make sure that everyone who needs this information gets it, right? So that we can help people, so they're not just having to repeat the same efforts over and over and over again to make money.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Okay, let's talk about fashion. Let's deviate from finances for a little bit. Yeah. Let's talk about fashion, because I know you mentioned that.
Yeah. You're gonna do like a master class for us, because you're like up there when we're talking about fashion. Me, for one, I just put things together. Like, I just gotta go.
But right? you look great, though.
Yeah, thank you. Why? Thank you. I mean, but, some people, they just get this fashion thing. Me, there was a time in my whole life I was wearing black. Also because I just couldn't be bothered with you. Gotta put this together. But now I'm trying to get into wearing more colors. But I'm still waiting on you to do a masterclass for us.
I will actually, eventually. Yeah. I will. But I feel like with TLG, the kind of women that we have very smart women, very fashionable women. I like that. I do want to change the face of insurance. This is not a company with old people just looking old and haggard, okay? Well, that's not finances. We're selling money. We have to look like money. And we look good. Why don't we show it? So I'm glad that all the women we have in our agency, all are good-looking women who can carry themselves. Confidence is really the key, right? Confidence, not so much the outfit, but the confidence. Because you can walk into any room and you can own it with just your black and black, right? And so I don't think it's so much the mix and the colors, which I'm happy to help you with. But you are confident as you walk in that room, people are going to turn. And so my goal is that when we TLG women, TLG ladies step out, people are going to turn and say, who are these people? Right? That's the goal. That's my aim. That's what I'm going to achieve.
I can't wait.
We're going to do that. Okay. So our next boot camp, when we have only the ladies step out, they would know that some people just stepped in the room, right? Yeah. Because it's not just our outfits and what we're wearing. We're just confident. We own it. We're walking. We know that we're worthy women. Yeah. So walking in that room, looking like we're worthy women.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm down for that.
So wait, tell us about your own podcast, because I know you do podcasts. So what is it about?
So my podcast is called Unshelved Dreams, right? So initially, I'm this kind of person that I just believe you can do anything and everything you want to put your mind to. So Unshelved Dreams, the initial goal was, okay, I want to meet you and talk to you about, okay, this dream that you've had for a long time, you're finally doing it. How did you do it? Like, because, and also even for women, when you get married and have kids, because a lot of people, they say, ask me like, how are you able to travel and do all these things you're doing, even with a child? I'm like, I don't know. I just know I got to do it. I do it. Yeah. Right? So I find ways to make it happen for me. So a part of the podcast is also to ensure that people remember that they first the person that was sent
Yeah.
to this earth to actually do something. So you can let the whole busyness of life just snatch it off of your hands
right.
and all that. So it's just first to bring people to that knowledge that you have things that you can do. Forget about, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have this. It's about resourcefulness, right?
Yeah.
That's the greatest resource anyone can have. And that was like the initial part. But now that I'm getting more into finance, I'm like, okay. So now, in fact, what I intend to do for the next season, because I just finished filming the first season, for the next season, I'm going to definitely be asking all my guests, what does financial freedom mean for you?
That's right.
So I can also get their idea, because I really want to infuse a lot about finance in there. Because honestly, even like I said, even if you don't have money, you can do anything. But sometimes when you don't have that money, there's something we say, now your person will never chop, not the pursue dream, right? You need money,
That's true.
right? So I'm going to be infusing a lot of finance talk and just making sure people really get this information, right?
Yeah.
So they know that there is a way you can eat your cake and have it when it comes to your money.
Yeah.
And that is what we teach people to do.
Yeah, and we don't have stingy energy here at TLG.
Absolutely.
We like to share information. So any way we can impact women, and you mentioned something about when they have kids, and I don't know how many times I've said this, but that's my biggest passion, because I've seen a lot of us women have kids and all of your dreams fall by the wayside.
Absolutely.
And when I was like in my teenage years, I was really into fashion and modeling and stuff like that. And so, and then I had my daughter, and that was, and that was the end of that conversation. And so, but I've always been I've always believed that looking good is good business.
Absolutely.
So I have an ebook I'm writing called Looking Good is Good Business, because I feel like that's your first impression is everything. And that first impression can be the only thing that closes a deal for you or makes you lose a deal, right? Because how you it's something about people being confident and looking good. So I'm very passionate about, when having women that have had children join our agency, and if they need help trying to better themselves and how they present themselves, that's where I'm happy to help. I'm happy to come in and guide them in that. But the goal is for us to have women successful women, either single parents or you're just married, or just a woman in general who looks good and who is doing her business, about her business, out there making it and making boss moves, as they call it.
Actually making an impact.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a person that I just feel like everything in this life, if it's not making impact on other people,
Yeah.
you're doing
What's
it,
the point, right?
Because impact first, then
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
That's really for me as
Yeah.
a person, right?
So I want to watch your podcast.
Yeah.
Let us know when it's going to be out. Let them know where they're going to...
Yeah, the first episode it
I
actually
think
came out
you
yesterday,
mentioned-
and it was my episode with Douglas Daisy.
Oh, wow. How come I missed that?
It came out yesterday, because we've been in training,
Yeah.
so I've not really, and I have.
I'm going to go watch it today then. Yeah.
I mean that. So.
Well, let the viewers know where to go watch your podcast,
Right, so-
and where to find you. And then also, my last question before we get to that. So since the training and the boot camp, what are you taking away from this boot camp? What is your next 6 months goal? Next 1 year goal? Like, what are you planning since being at this event?
So one thing, I mean, there's been a lot of good stuff from this training. There's so many good stuff. Like, I feel a lot more energized. But one thing that I'd never really thought about life insurance like that, right? It was this morning from Don Blanton.
Yeah.
He said something, and that was one of the last things. In fact, I wasn't even here. I was on Zoom driving down here. He said life insurance is a business of love. And for me, that is so true, right? My dad is still alive, right? But I know that what we're teaching right now, if he did that kind of thing for me,
For you.
right? And if he did it for any of my siblings, right, we'll be in a much
Better
place right
yeah.
now. And life insurance and also taking care of your finances, right,
Yeah.
is a show of love. Not just for yourself, because you can benefit from it while you're alive,
Yeah.
right? But for your family, right? Because, I mean, I've seen people that, I know of one man that, he went to Nigeria to bury his mom, then he died in Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
Right now, they had to they couldn't decide whether to fly him back because his wife is African American, the kids are here, they'll never be back to Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
And there was no plan, nothing in place, right? So they were almost losing the house that they had here. They had to sell all his properties in Nigeria just to be able to pay for the house. So imagine sending naira to dollars just to do that. Now the kid couldn't continue in the private college he was trying to go, right? So I know about that story, and people don't know, and when you know, you do better. So I'm trying to really rebrand my business. I want to focus on people in their 30s. Right? That is what I'm looking to do, right? And in fact, 2 days ago, I went to fix my phone at CPR, and the guy that attended to me, I left the place. Then I was in the car. The spirit dog was like, go back and talk to that guy. I'm like, nah, I'm not talking to nobody today. I'm not, you know that I feel like I should just go and talk to this guy. What will I tell him? Oh my goodness. Then I went back in the room. I'm like, before I even got in, I was pacing back and forth. I went into Kung Fu tea. I bought tea. I didn't plan to buy anything. Then I went back. I'm like, okay, Eli, his name is Eli. Oh, you've done a really great job for me today, and I just feel bad. Like, you'll be bad if I leave you and I don't tell you what I do. And he goes, oh, okay, so what you do? I'm like, okay. I was about to start doing the explanation. I'm like, okay, before I even tell you everything, I'm just going to ask you one question. Are you sure you're going to have a great retirement, or you have some doubt? And he just started scratching his head. He was like, I don't know why you asked me that question. I'm 30. I know I should be thinking about these things. I don't know where my money goes. I'm just tired. He starts telling me everything. I'm like, okay. All right, so let's set an appointment so we can talk about it. I'm like, okay, here's my number. I was like, no, I'm going to give you my number so you can follow up with me just in case I get busy. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, God.
Yeah.
Right? So, and he just really confirmed because I'm also like in my 30s, and I just know that this is the time when we're making good money. And we're making money, but it's also a time when our life is getting more expensive, because now you're like, oh, I need to buy a house, I need to get married, I need to have children, right? So all those things are coming. So I'm like, this is the time to get people to start learning about these things. So that's gonna be my focus for the
that.
The next couple of years.
And I love that you ended up, that you pushed and went back in there, because that thing in your head could have played with you the entire day and said, don't go back. And you'd have missed the opportunity, and you never know. When you finish with that guy, eventually what that may lead you and lead him. So I'm glad that, the spirit moved you to go back. Well, that's great news. That's great news. And I hope that you carry on the same, when that thing says don't go back, prance around a little bit, you get it together, and then
and it just really reinforces something Coach Doug says. He says, whatever it is that really fears you, just go ahead and
do it. Yes,
because the antidote to fear is to actually do the things that you fear. So I'm like, I just want to be about my business. I don't want to talk to nobody. But I'm glad I did that.
Well, that's great. Well, it's lovely to have you here. You're staying back for the networking, aren't you? Yes, you are.
I'm not rushing.
All right, so tell them where they can find you, so they can watch your podcast, because I would like to watch it too.
Awesome. So first, I'm really active on Instagram. My Instagram is Rennie Billions. I love money, right? Even though I love impact too, right? But the money's gotta make sense, right? So Rennie, Reni, Billions, Billions, is together. While the podcast is called Unshelved Dreams, right? And it's on YouTube. Unshelved Dreams, like you have a shelf, right? UNSHELVED, Dreams. Yeah. And we're also on Instagram as well.
Well, thank you, Rennie.
Thank you so much.
This was amazing, and I'll see you at the networking event.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Yep.